Okay, every single My Singing Monsters Island rank. This is the 10K special, the first part of 3 parts of the 10K special. So here we go. We have a bunch of islands to rank, so we're just going to start right now. Okay, starting off with Plant Island. I think that the island is pretty solid. I'm going to put it in A tier. The song honestly isn't that good, but it's really iconic and pretty catchy too. So, it deserves A tier. Cold Island is pretty tough. I think the song is good, but it's really not as good as Plant Island. This one's pretty tough. I think I'm going to have to put it in a high B tier. Oh, I'm getting a lot of hate for that. Next up, Air Island. I think it's a little bit less good than Cold Island, but I think it's going to get the same rank just because, they're just about as good. Same with Water Island, to be honest. I'm not really a fan of any of these islands. They're just not that great in my opinion, but they're not bad either. Earth Island is definitely an S tier. I don't know why, but I just love the song. It's so catchy, and yeah, it's just good. It's also one of the first 5 natural islands, so it's an OG island too. So yeah, one of my favorites. Gold Island, I don't think I can put it in S tier. It's just not great enough for that, but I think I'm going to put it in A tier just because, it was supposed to be the last island, and its song is really fitting for that. It's kind of sad, but it's just good. I don't know how else to explain it. Ethereal Island's kind of the same thing. It's a good song, not good enough in my opinion to be S tier, but I think that it deserves A tier for sure. Now, I already know a lot of you guys are going to be disagreeing on this one, but I think that Sugarbush Island is an S tier song. I don't know why I love it so much, but it might be because it sounds a lot like a real actual song and not a bunch of random sounds that are put together to sound good. But yeah, I just like the song. It's good. Tribal Island, I'm really not sure about. I think that it's a cool concept being able to work together to keep your monsters leveled up. But I feel like just the entire, the way that they did it just doesn't work out. I think it deserves a low A tier. The song is really good, though, I must admit. Wublin Island, easy S tier. I think that it was the first island that I was actually here for in the MSM community when it was added. It might have actually been Tribal Island, I'm not sure. But Wublin Island it's just my favorite one. I mean, it's so nostalgic, especially when they brought the rare Wublins with the first 5. It's just my favorite because the song is really great too, nostalgic or not. I mean, the song's pretty good. Ooh, Celestial Island. Not one of my favorites. I feel like that Celestial Island deserves a C tier just because the Celestials, even though it's fun to collect all of them, they really aren't that rewarding. And the song is good, but compared to the other islands, it could be a lot better. Now, for Firehaven. I love the song. I feel like it deserves a high A tier. Actually, no, mid A tier, honestly. I think that it's not good enough to be S tier, just because, I don't know, it's my opinion. But, yeah. Now, honestly, Fire Oasis is a really mid song until it gets to the Glauel verse, and pretty much everything after that is really good, especially with Cherubble and Kana being part of the Cherubble and Kana verse. I think I'm going to have to give it a high B tier just because the rest of the song is really mid and just not that good. But Congo does carry, so, A tier, just because of that. Psychic Island being the first added of the magical islands, I think that it deserves a high B tier. I feel like it's not as good as the rest of the islands, in my opinion. But I feel like it just doesn't have, it's a little bit too empty, and it doesn't have enough, background monsters. The song is very repetitive. Once you listen to it, 3 times, it gets way too boring and repetitive. It's just, it's not that good, honestly. I feel like the Fairy Island song is pretty lacking, so I put it into C tier. I feel like it could be a little bit better. They could have done a lot more with Fiddle and the Dipsters, but I feel like for now, it's not bad. High C tier. Actually, B tier. I feel like it's good enough for B tier. Bone Island, S tier for sure. It's definitely in my top 3 favorite islands. I kind of just like the whole vibe that the island has. I think that it's really good. Yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say. Light Island, easy S tier. I don't care what you guys say about the song being repetitive. The vocals are very annoying, but I can definitely just ignore that and actually enjoy the rest of the song. And if anything, just mute the vocals. I'm pretty sure there are some videos out there without the vocals. Yeah. Magical Sanctum, I'm not the biggest fan of Magical Sanctum, honestly. A lot of people like just love the island and put it into S tier, but I think I'm gonna give it a low A tier for now. I think that the song is really good, but it's just not. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. Seasonal Shanty is definitely A tier, not good enough for S tier, but I really don't want to put it in B tier because it was really exciting, honestly. The 9th anniversary when it was added, it was super exciting. It was a really good time for My Singing Monsters. Amber Island, I think it belongs in S tier, honestly. I can't put it any lower than that. I feel like it just doesn't belong any lower than that, especially with Vivine and the Gnarls update. It would have gone into A tier without those two added, but yeah, now it's definitely one of my favorites. Now, I know I put a lot in S tier, but there are a lot of islands that I really love, so I'm going to have to put Mythical Island in S tier. I mean, even though it's not finished, I can't exactly rank it perfectly, but for the song right now, at least the main verses with Gajoob, I'm going to have to put it into S tier just because of that. I just really like the way that it's turning out. Now, because the Dawn of Fire Islands aren't here, I'm just going to be pretending to rank them, I guess. Continent's definitely going into A tier. It's not good enough for S tier in my opinion, but it's really good. Party Island would easily go into D tier. That's probably the only D tier island there is. I'm just not a big fan of it. Space Island would go into B tier, and Cloud Island would go into A tier. Cave Island would go into S tier, and Starhenge would also go into S tier, honestly. I think those two islands are some of my favorite, and probably my favorite in the Dawn of Fire game. But yep, that's it for the first part of the 10K special. I hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys in the next video. Bye.